channel. My voice might sound a little weird today, but talk about that in a minute. I'm Rin, and I just want to say a little something before I get into all the stitching and stuff. I do want to welcome everyone back to my channel who's watched before, and any new people. Well, I'm going to go on a little bit of a tangent and rant, and it's not normal for my videos, but there was something that really bothered me this month, and I felt like I needed to get that off of my chest. And I thought about doing it at the end of my video, but I really just wanted to address it just to let you know what this channel is about for me. And it's mostly about me and sharing my cross stitching and sometimes some other crafts and talking about people in the community and my friends and all that. But so last month, as you probably know, was Pride Month, and this was pretty special to me because it's my first Pride being like out and openly non-binary. It's, you know, I guess maybe some people find it kind of weird because I'm a little too old for that, whatever. You know, sometimes you just figure it out late, especially when you grow up in the 80s and 90s, and that just isn't a thing. Anyway, I did a whole video about that on my old channel. I might bring that back up and put a link down below if you wanted to see that, if you're kind of new to my stuff or you don't know me so well, to get a better perspective on that. But anyway, I'm not going to name names because I don't want to create more drama, but if a person is watching my channel, then they will know. I got an email from someone basically saying, here's this video that proves the communists are behind the gay rights movement, and you're being used, and you should know this, and you need to disprove this video to me. And I'm just like, no, I don't. You know, I know that this person has very different opinions than I do, and they consume different media. They more conservative media, online media, all the mainstream media is evil. And so, yeah, anything I could bring up to them, anything I could show them, it wouldn't matter because it would just be fake news. And so I don't really see the point of arguing this, but it is frustrating. And it was on the 30th, the last day, so let's end it with a bang. I think the most frustrating part about it was that I haven't talked directly to a lot of... I've talked directly to some people, but other people I haven't really because I have feared a negative reaction. So I've put it out there, and I figure that they've probably seen it and know, and if they want to talk to me about it, fine. If they don't, I don't want to deal with all the negativity. Well, this has never been brought up to me by them. It's never been a topic of discussion. But now that I know that they know, and instead of talking to me or asking me about it, they just sent me this hateful email that I'm a moron and being used by some evil conspiracy. And it's frustrating. I feel like I've been pretty lucky for the most part with this whole thing. People have been really nice, really receptive. So I guess in some ways I was kind of waiting to get this sort of response from someone. And yay, there it is. And it sucks. it's not the end of the world. I'm more annoyed by it than anything else. I'm not really like upset or really angry or gonna be really sad about it. It's not an unexpected thing, but it's annoying. And sometimes it just, yeah, I just have to. So basically, the reason why I'm saying that, going on this whole long tangent, is if you have a problem with things about me, because I'm just going to put it right there. Yes, I am non-binary. I use they, them pronouns. I'm not going to freak out and say you're a horrible person if you forget and say she or her. I screw it up. I forget. It's a fairly new thing for me. It takes a while to adjust to these things. I get it. Just, mess me up and just be like, okay, fix it, move on. It's fine. Don't make a big production out of it. But if you're going to be hateful and hurtful and just unpleasant about it, then I don't want to deal with that. And you don't have to be in my life. I have spent many, many years not really having anybody. So I'll be okay. Yeah, so there's that. I'm also pagan. I have not been Christian for over a decade. Not everybody in my sphere knows that because I've kept it quiet, because I've tried to not make waves. I've tried to not cause problems. And you know what? I'm done with it. If that's going to be a problem for you, that's fine. If you just don't want to talk about it and don't want to deal with it, that's fine. We don't have to talk about it. I don't care. But if you were going to try to save me, if you were going to try to educate me, please don't. I have studied the Bible. I have studied the Bible with Jehovah's Witnesses. I know plenty. It never worked for me. And whatever you think about that, if you think that's terrible, it's awful, I'm going to hell, I don't care. Okay? I'm just going to put that right out there. If you can't just care about me for who I am, if I have to fit a certain mold, just go. Just go. I don't care who you are. You don't have to be like rah-rah on everything about me, but you have to respect everything about me. Else I just don't want to deal with it, because I don't want to have to try to explain and justify myself to the people who should care. And for those of you out there that do care and have been supported, I appreciate you more than you will ever know. Because it hasn't always been that way in my life. Oh, I was gonna stay together. I was. So yeah, that's why I started off my video with this. And if you want to tune out, if you don't want to watch my channel anymore, that is fine. I don't expect to have a lot of people watching my channel, but the people who watch my channel, they mean a lot. The people who comment regularly, the people who watch regularly, the people who I talk to, you mean a lot to me. So thank you. I just want to say that. And I want to not get upset, but sometimes you just can't help it, you know? Anyway, so I've said my piece, and that's really all I'm going to say about it. You know, I'm not going to go into this every time I do a video, but I felt like it needed to be addressed. And yeah. So if you're still here, we're going to talk about some more fun stuff. We're going to talk about some stitching now. Yeah, we are. Because that's what it's all about, right? Because I do enjoy it, and it makes me happy. So first off, let's get a few announcements out of the way. Part 4 of Kingdom Hearts Sal is out. I'll put a little picture up here of what part 4 looks like, my test stitch of that. It's another big one this month. I'm sorry. I think, what were the two? It's like the Petal Pixie and Fairy Stars were the keyblades this month. They turned out really cute. Of course, I've got my usual chronocross patterns. We've got all the portraits that I did, which I'll be showing you a finished cross stitch of one of those in my finishes. And then we have the menu art, which are the bigger patterns. And so 5 more characters out this month. It's a lot of kind of gruff and gristly men this month. I've sort of grouped them together by ones that I feel kind of go together. What else happened this month? I went to StitchCon, Weekend B. That was a lot of fun, and I really appreciated it. The reason my voice might sound a little weird is I got COVID while I was in Cincinnati, unfortunately. I was kind of sick. I had a sore throat, and I've had a lot of sinus issues. I always get a lot of sinus issues when I get sick, which, all that doesn't help. It was a rough trip home. My nose and trying to mask and on the plane, and then my plane got delayed. And, it was not the most fun time in the world, but I finally got home, and I was rather sick for a couple days, and then I felt somewhat better, but still with the sinuses. My sinuses have finally cleared up a few days ago, but I'm still having a bit of issues with that because I always have a kind of a hard time kicking that stuff. So I may have to blow my nose in this. I'll try to cut that out so it's not all gross. But and of course, as I said, it was also Pride Month. I went to a local Pride event here in Bay County. Apparently it's the only one for like 100 miles in the Panhandle. That was fun. It was hot. Oh my goodness, it was hot. We ended up staying for a little bit at the beginning, but it started to get very crowded, and it was really hot, and we were tired. And I went with a friend of mine, and it was finally just like, okay, I'm done. I can't take any more of the people and the heat. And but it was kind of fun, and it was kind of neat to get out there and see that. And I'm really awkward with people, so like talking to people and interacting is just not always my strong suit. So that didn't help. Okay, before we get into the cross stitching, my pop culture highlight is not something I watched this month, but kind of inspired by a lot of the things that D's 20 Stitches was doing for Pride Month, which I kind of started off strong, like learning the stuff, and I knew I wasn't going to do the stitching prompts because I already had stuff planned out, but I sort of fell off, and I do want to go back and go through the list and learn more of the things, because between like trips and COVID, it just kind of went off the rails my whole month. But I remember there was one prompt talking about like a movie. Well, I got a documentary, and it's called Scream Queen, and it's Scream with comma and exclamation point, so it's like Scream Queen. And it is about Mark Patton, who starred in Nightmare on Elm Street Part 2, Freddy's Revenge, I think it was called. I've watched all of those. That's not the most popular of them, and the movie does have issues, horror sequels. But part of the big thing with that movie was the main star, Mark Patton. He is gay, but he wasn't openly gay at that time because this was mid-'80s in Hollywood, and there was the AIDS epidemic where a lot of people were. It just created a lot of fear and a lot of discrimination, and it's kind of hard to argue that it isn't a gay horror movie when you watch it, and some of the scenes, and there's like a whole leather bar thing, and and the director tries to say, well, I didn't make it that way, it just seems gay because of the star, which is it's a very sad story because he got very ostracized in Hollywood. He was an up-and-coming actor. He was starting to get parts. This was supposed to be sort of his big breakout role, and then everybody's like, this movie is kind of gay and we don't like it. And it seemed to, and plus the movie didn't do as well as they'd hoped. And that wasn't his fault. The movie had issues with the plot and the script and those other things, but I think a lot of it got put on him, and it was unfortunate. But this documentary is talking about that and how it got a cult following in the LGBTQ plus community, and he did actually contract HIV, and he's still alive, and he moved to Mexico, and he didn't even know that this movie that he was in had gotten popular. And I'm not sure if someone else told him or was the documentary people, but then he goes back to Hollywood and people are cheering him, and it was really good. I know it's on Shudder. I don't know if it's available anywhere else, but if you do have that service, or if you can get a free trial or something like that, I would recommend watching it, because it's especially for someone like me who was very young in the 80s and didn't really know. It does kind of go over a lot of the issues that especially gay men had in the 80s in Hollywood. So I definitely recommend checking it out. I know Pride Month's over, but who cares? You can watch it anyway. So now that I rambled on about things forever, which I know I always think my videos are going to be so long, and then it's not that long. Maybe this one. Oh, and speaking of StitchCon, they gave us like all this stuff. I could get this cool bag and this notebook, and then other people, like people at my table and stuff, were getting things. And yeah, that was a lot of fun. But now that I've gone back and forth and tangented all over the dang place, you want to see some stitching, don't you? Let's get into the whips, or works in progress. Okay, so first I'm going to talk about is Half the Fun, which you've seen a few times on here. I only did 129 stitches. I was meaning to do more on my trip, but by the time I got to it, I was not feeling well, and getting 129 stitches in was a lot of work just to get that in. So this is a pattern by Ink Circles, and it's on 16 count AIDA. I don't remember what type. Basically, all I did was I got this unicycle in and the motorcycle. That was kind of, and I'm not sure if I had the skateboard in before or not, but I just sort of did like in this little corner. So not a whole lot this month, unfortunately. And here's what that will look like when it's finished. Of course, mine's gonna look really different because I'm doing all the different colors. But yeah, I was meaning to work on that more because it is my travel piece. I've been trying to work on it whenever I go on a trip, but I did get a lot of other stuff done at StitchCon. I did get, people, oh, you're not going to get stitching done. I got stitching done. You underestimate me not wanting to talk to people. But I'm going to get into what I worked on at StitchCon in a minute. Okay, so these are basically the ones I worked on that weren't Pride Month stitches. So I worked on the Cryptid Sow, did 1,757 stitches. Some of that was this month. I kind of just decided I wanted to do one in June and one in July, and since I'd already started on at the end of June, I decided to go ahead and do the July ones into July. And of course, this is by the Witchy Stitcher, and it's on a 32 count vintage country mocha linen. So it is coming along. I got 4 more to go. As you can see, got the Dover Demon and Loch Ness. Aren't they just precious? Loch Ness is so cute. Look at that. Just the best. So yes, I got 4 more to do up in the corner. I'm planning on doing another 2 next month and then finishing it up in September. So hopefully I will be able to manage that. All right, now I'm going to move on to all of my fabulous Pride stitching that I did this month. So I had 6 different patterns, that I worked on. I finished 2 of them. I'll get to those in the finishes. But first, I'm going to talk about Rainbow Sheep of the Family. And that is, I did 1,409 stitches, and it's a pattern by Play-Doh Scroll. And I'll put a picture up of what it'll look like when it's done. And it's on a 14 count AIDA. It's Sunset. It's a printed fabric by Charles Craft. So you can see I got Rainbow Bright done in the middle. And we've got Canary Yellow and Patio Green and Buddy Blue. I can't remember who's going. It might be Lala Orange is up there. I can't remember, but I did get one more of the frames done, but didn't get the color kit in there. So I'm making pretty good progress on this. It goes pretty fast. The little frames are cute, and I really like this fabric. I wanted something that was colorful and like kind of rainbowy but subtle, because there's a lot of colors in the pattern, and so I wanted to get make sure it didn't detract too much from the pattern. Okay, so kind of got the next two together in here. So the first one is the Sailor Moon, the Outer Scouts, and this is a pattern that I charted and is available on my Ko-Fi page, which all of my Sailor Moon patterns are now available for free. Oh, and I forgot to mention I was doing a fundraiser last month for my local LGBTQ center. I raised $35, which, you know, not a lot, but I appreciate everybody that donated, especially Bobo Jessie Stitches. She bought all 3 of my patterns. And also I wanted to thank her for mentioning me in her last video and talking about the patterns. So thank you. So yes, I did 2,521 stitches. This is an 18 count AIDA, and it's a printed fabric again that I got from Easy Stitch for Fun on Etsy. So you can see I've gotten the outermost border, and then each of them have their own little border, and I made some pretty good progress on Haruka Sailor Uranus. Her hair is done, and I started working on her skin. I would like to get her, if I have chance this month, to actually work on her and maybe get at least her finished. We'll see. I don't have a ton left on that. I could probably get, I could do that. Okay, the next one is my Sailor Starlights pattern. I did 729 stitches. So yes, this is another one I charted. And it's an 18 count AIDA, which is from the same place, Easy Stitch for Fun. It's a printed AIDA. So I started on, I can't remember which Sailor Starlight that is. I'm bad fan. But I got the little star frame kind of done and started on their hair and stuff. But not as much progress as I was hoping to get done, unfortunately. So it doesn't really show a lot, but I started this one at StitchCon, and I would like to finish it next StitchCon. So that means I do need to do some work on it. So I do need to pick that up a few times before StitchCon so I get it done. Okay, and the last one I worked on was the Trans Pride Tapestry. That was by D's 20 Stitches, based on art by Carrie Knockin. And I did 1,726 stitches. It's on a 32 count Lagana. It's some sort of purple that I got, so I don't remember exactly. I wasn't keeping good track of my fabric back then. But you can see, I think the last time I showed you, I had a lot of sort of the outlining done, but I did fill in a lot of stuff in these top pages. I've just basically got the pink in the unicorn's mane to do on this top section, and then I can move down and start doing the lower section. This was really good when I was sick, because I had like the outlines done and it was just filling in, so I didn't worry about miscounting or messing up. So that worked out really well, and that's part of the reason why I got quite a bit done on it, because I didn't feel like I could work on anything else that might mess it up. But it's looking really good. I really need to pull this out some more, and I love how those colors look on the purple. Are just fabulous. The diamant is a little bit of a pain in the butt, I will admit, but it's gonna be so fabulous. So I'm gonna suffer through and do it. I'm gonna do it. But yeah, so those were all my whips. That's everything that I worked on this month that I didn't finish. So let's move on to finishes. Okay, so first off is another pattern that I charted. Is one of my Chrono Cross patterns. This is Greco, who I think the name is supposed to probably be a reference to like Greco-Roman wrestling, and he has the masks like a lot of the Mexican wrestlers wear. But his character is sort of a priest and does exorcisms. That game is nuts. But it was 3,154 stitches, and I did this on a 16 count natural AIDA. But yeah, he just looks like this grumpy man in a mask. It's basically how it is. And it always kind of amazes me when I work on these, because I draw a grid on it with water soluble pen, and I go color by color. So I do the color for the whole thing, because they're not too big, but I do the grid so I don't mess it up. And you know, I keep filling in, and I'm just like, I'm skeptical for a while, like, is this gonna turn? And then I get to the end and I'm like, yeah, that was pretty good. So it's just kind of fun. It's like every time, is it gonna be okay? I guess it's gonna be okay. Okay, these next two are both from Clayford Designs and are stitched on just like a white 16 count AIDA. So this one is Gender is a Scam. So it says Gender is a Scam designed to sell more bathrooms, and I thought it would be fun. Originally, these little people were charted in just black, and I thought it would be fun to do this one in pink and this one in blue, which they're actually a variegated floss, and you may be able to tell kind of on the blue. There's a little bit of variegation, but the pink you really can't tell. I was like, well, that wasn't super useful, but whatever. So I had fun. This one went really fast. This is only 493 stitches. Of course, this doesn't count the back stitching, but it worked up quick. And then my last one is the non-binary Pride Lion. It's 3,379 stitches, so more than it seemed. I worked on this. This is one of the main things I was working on at StitchCon, because I really wanted to get a finish. Ah, he's so cute. Everybody really loved him, and a lot of people thought he was a Pokemon at StitchCon. Oh, which I'll put up a picture. I got to ring the bell. So that was fun, show off, because if you don't know anything about StitchCon, when you finish something while you're at StitchCon, you can ring the bell and everybody cheers for you, and it's really fun. So yeah, I love him. He's so cute. He's got his great little mane, and I want to do more of these, because I have a whole set where it does the different Pride colors in the mane. So I definitely want to do some more of these little guys. I'm gonna make a quilt out or something. I don't know. I'm always making too much work for myself, I swear. But yeah, StitchCon was fun. I didn't really take a lot of pictures. I'm terrible about that. I'm horrible. I suck. I'm sorry. I'll put in a few pictures that I had, or I shared a room with Carrie, whose channel is DNA Geek Crafts, and I'll put a link down the bottom. And we had a lot of fun. I met a lot of people. I met a fan. Oh, it was so exciting. I was just like, I have a fan. Oh my goodness. This is so weird. I also got to meet Kelly, who I used to do a Flosstube with through Stitch Life. And she has her own channel, which is Don't Run with Scissors, or Running with Scissors. Sorry. Sorry, Kelly. I will put a link. I will put a link down there. Yeah, and I get to meet other Flosstubers that I like to watch, like the Peregrine Stitcher, and Tina has his channel. It was just a lot of fun meeting people and meeting new people. Yeah. Oh, and I got to meet Gary from Sunshine Stitchers and Ronnie. That was cool. They were really, really nice. Yeah, I made new friends. It was a great time. So yeah, if you can go. I mean, getting spots isn't easy, and you know, of course, it costs money, and you get a hotel. But even if you can just go 1 year, I think it's a fun, worthwhile experience. But anyway, let's get to wrapping this video up before it's like 1,000,000 hours long and I frustrate myself trying to upload it. So what were my plans for this month that I had? Work on 6 pride patterns, which I did. Finished part 7 of the Keyblades, which I didn't, and part of that was COVID. I was not going to work on such an intense confetti heavy pattern when at some points my eyes were watering, I couldn't see, so that didn't. Test stitch the Greco portrait, which I did, so I, 2 out of 3. This month, what are my plans for July? Okay, one thing I want to talk about, frosty festive stitching. So I had these huge plans, sort of like when I did the Spooky Mayhem stitching in May. I was going to do a whole sort of like Christmas in July-ish thing, but winter and all that. And I'm going to do 12 projects. And then I realized, no, I cannot do that. I counted up all my WIPs for sort of like a mid-year thing, and I'm at 23. And that's just a lot for me. That's a lot. I know some of you are going to be like, oh, 23. It just feels like a lot for me. Up until a couple years ago, I would only usually stitch on one thing at a time. So it's a lot. I'll talk about the patterns. I think I have like 3 different things that I kind of want to work on, but I'll get to that in a second. Finish parts 7 and 8 of Keyblades, at least 7, and get started on 8. If I don't completely finish 8 this month, there's a smaller section for August, so I can kind of like finish it up and then do that one. And of course, that's test stitch my Lucia portrait, which is going to be the next Chrono Cross one. So the things I want to work on next month for my frosty festive stitching, which I'm going to use a little hashtag, and if you want to do that, if you want to do Christmas themed or other winter holidays or just winter themed stuff, just have at it. Join me in my madness. So one thing I know I'll be working on, I want to get back to working on my Antarctic Santas, the leopard seal Santa that Amber sent me, the Rogue Mama Stitcher, which, I'm sure you've seen her channel. She's way cooler than me. Hi, Amber. So yeah, and you can see this, I've gotten pretty far. I haven't worked on it in a little while, but I think I could definitely finish that this month. I think that is totally doable, and I'm going to try. I'm going to be working on it today because I'm filming. This is the 3rd. Yes. Today is July 3rd, in case you're wondering. Flosstube number 9. Yeah, I should have said that a while ago, but whatever. So yeah, I'm gonna work on that one. I've got a pattern from Abby Sue Designs, and it says, in a world full of Grinches, be a Griswold, or something like that. I'll put a picture up here of what it looks like. So the Griswolds are the family from National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, or all the vacation movies. So it's just a little light, it's a cute pattern, so I'll put that up there. And I want to work on the Christmas cryptids. I think that might have been, but it was like holiday themed cryptids that I think it was Lola Crow did last year, which I totally planned on working on those, and I did not get started on them. So I would like to do at least one of them. I think there's 4 or 5, but maybe get one of those done would be fun. Yeah, so 3 things, unless I find something else, which I'd really need to not. I need to not find anything else to do, because I really don't need other things to do. Oh, before we go, one other thing. I don't usually do haul or anything on here, but they had a freebie table, and I found some cute, like, old things, like this charming cottage from Dimensions. I thought that was really cute. Who knows if I'll actually do it, but it's free, whatever. These Briar Patch bunnies, which are kind of like, have oddly long necks, but I thought they were cute and kind of quirky little things. And a year of bunnies and teddies. Oh my goodness, this is so my thing. I love to stitch monthly stuff. Like, look at this February rabbit. Oh, she's so fancy. This is so 90s. It's like epic 90s with the frills and things. So I totally want to stitch this. No, this witch bunny. it. I love it. Yeah, I'm gonna totally stitch some of this. I don't know what I'm gonna do with them, but whatever. I'll do something with them. Anyway, thanks for sitting through all this. I have no idea how long it is. Hopefully it's not too terribly long this week, because I don't want to take a million hours to upload it. but thank you if you made it all the way to the end. And thank you to everybody who has mentioned my channel on their channel. I know that Joe, Stitchy Cat Lady, and I think Morty, Bad Morty, has mentioned me on there. And if I'm forgetting anybody else, you know, or if I haven't mentioned you already in this video, I do appreciate it. Other than that, I think that's it for me today. I feel better. I feel better after talking to you. Thanks for listening. And I hope I will see you in my next video next month. All right. You have a really great day. Bye.